One of the big questions that I see in DJ Music Help forums has to do with Latin music, and it's usually asked by an American non-Latino DJ. What are the big Latin tracks? I need to make a folder. So I've got some songs just in case I have that audience in front of me. It's a very difficult question to answer because there are some things you should probably know. First of all, if we're talking about a mixed Latin crowd, which would be Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, El Salvadorians, Colombians, and Mexicans, you can look at 4 different genres that you're probably safe to play. Salsa, Merengue, Bachata, and Reggaeton. Those 4 things are perfect for a mixed Latin crowd. Where it gets tricky is if you have a predominantly Mexican crowd in front of you, because there are a dozen or so specific Mexican subgenres you're going to need to know. I'm not well versed enough in any of those genres to give you any advice on them. Can I do a party like that or a quinceañera or something? Yeah, I can, but I'm definitely not the expert. Somebody out there would probably be more suited to help you out with that. But when it comes to salsa, merengue, bachata, and reggaeton, what I'm going to do, for those of you who just can't be bothered with anything else I'm going to say today, is I'm going to put a cheat list in the description of this video. Some of my favorites, just so you can put them in a folder and it'll get you by. So look in the description below for a cheat list. Copy, paste it, download them, and enjoy. So with that in mind, there are a couple things I'll say about these 4 genres. First of all, I want to focus on the 3. Okay, the first 3: salsa, merengue, and bachata. The interesting thing about these 3 is that there was a golden age for them, and it was probably from the mid to late 90s to the mid to early 2000s. A lot of really good stuff was released. And those are kind of the standards for mixed Latin crowds today in salsa, merengue, and bachata. The other interesting thing is that when it comes to those styles of music, you don't always specifically have to play a specific song and artist. Because most of the time the requests come like, hey, play some bachata, or hey, play some salsa, or hey, play some merengue. They don't ask for, hey, can you play La Makina, or hey, can you play Prince Royce? They don't do that most of the time. Sometimes they do, but most of the time it's just play bachata, salsa, or merengue. If the beat's all right, they'll dance all night. That's definitely the rule with this mixed crowd with those 3 genres. Once you kind of get a feel for what those specific genres sound like, and you have a collection of music, you can kind of play it by ear. That's how I do it. I don't speak any Spanish. Wife's Puerto Rican, doesn't matter. She talks too damn fast. I don't speak Spanish. I can kind of read it, and when I'm taking Latin requests, I prefer they write them down, because then I can search the songs better if they're asking for specific songs, which doesn't happen a lot with those 3 genres. But I mostly play it by ear. It makes it interesting, and they like it. So they have like this thing where maybe they never heard the merengue that you're playing, but they're still going to dance merengue to it because it's about the dance. It's kind of cool. Reggaeton is a little different. When it comes to that, there's modern reggaeton tracks that people do enjoy and they ask for. Know what they are. I mean, it's contemporary, it's kind of hip-hop, but the weird thing about reggaeton is for the last 20-some years, every reggaeton song has sounded exactly the same. Boom, to-boom, 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 to-boom. Yet they want specific tracks. It's kind of like hip-hop in that regard. It all kind of sounds the same, but they want to hear specific tracks. Now, I know what some of you were thinking. It's like, you know what, I'd rather just stick to English-speaking music or American music, maybe. Because that's the kind of DJ I am, that's who I am, that's who I want to play for. Well, here's a question, see if how many of you can answer it on the honor system. What country is salsa from? Anybody care to take a guess who doesn't know? It's from America. Salsa is as American as rock and roll. It's from New York City. Now it's influenced by music of Cuba and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and Colombia and all that stuff, but it's American. So maybe you should know a little something about it, or at least what it sounds like. That's important. And you can look below in the description of this video where I'm going to give you guys some sheets. You can download them and enjoy them of what salsa sounds like. It has a certain beat to it, has a certain rhythm to it. It's different than merengue. It's different from bachata. Know what that sounds like, because it is American music all day long. What else do I want to tell you? Okay, here's something. So let's say that you grab my cheat sheet, you download these tracks, and you want to do a Latin set. Some of you may be tempted to beat mix these tracks. I'm going to advise against that. And let me explain. When it comes to a dance like, let's say, salsa, and even merengue and bachata are like this, there's a beginning and an end to the routine the couple may be doing. If you cut the song short, you're going to rob them of their big finish. Don't do it. The other thing is, salsa, merengue, bachata, they are social dances. When I used to go to Latin clubs long, long ago, before Blanca, I would dance with everybody in the club. Even women who were there with their husbands. And the husbands didn't care, because it was all about just dance. It wasn't a hookup thing. It wasn't anything like that at all. It was just about dancing. And people are looking for excuses to switch partners sometimes. And when there's a break in the music, or there's an abrupt change between one song and the next, it gives them an excuse to leave the floor and grab somebody else. So don't beat mix these tracks. The other thing I will recommend that is if you're going to do, let's say, a Latin music night, the way I would do this, just to rotate things and keep everybody happy, and the way I used to do it when I used to DJ Latin clubs a lot, is I would do 2 salsa, 2 merengue, 2 bachata. And then maybe I'd throw a reggaeton in there. And then I'd start over again. Salsa, merengue, bachata, 1 reggaeton. Seems like a pretty good rotation. And it keeps everybody happy. You don't want to just do 1 salsa. You don't want to just do 1 merengue. 1 reggaeton is probably okay. And even early in the evening, I will skip the reggaeton. Let that go until later. That's more of a younger people thing, although we enjoy reggaeton. But yeah, it's one of those things that I've always DJ'd by ear. If the beat's alright, then they're going to dance all night. But it's important to know what that beat sounds like. So if you can figure out what these different rhythms sound like, then, and you have a collection of salsa, merengue, and bachata, then you can DJ salsa, merengue, bachata. It just depends on how strong your ear is in picking out these rhythms. Then you just pick songs that you feel like are good songs, and they'll dance to them even if they've never heard them before. It's a very unique group of people who will do this. You can't do this with hip-hop. You certainly can't do it with a lot of other music, but you can do it with this general Latin audience stuff. Except for reggaeton, like I said. Those you might want to get more specific with, but the other ones, you can bounce all over the place. I don't know if I've confused you more than anything else or helped you or anything else, but this is just my take on it. This is how I do it, and some of you may agree or disagree with me or think differently, but this has been very successful for me for the better part of 20 years. I've done very well with this, with these mixed Latin audiences. So take it for what it's worth, and enjoy the cheat sheet down here. It's not all songs. Some of you may have a different list. If you have different songs, put them down here in the comment section. Recommendations for those who are trying to get some kind of list together. And the other thing I will say is that if you have been like a promo-only subscriber or a Top Hits USA subscriber, and you have gotten Latin tracks in, play off of those. I mean, you can sort them by genre. You can sort them by, salsa, merengue, bachata, whatever, and find the ones that you think sound good and use those tracks at your events. I don't know. So I throw it out there. Hope this video helps somebody. And just know that I really appreciate you for watching. Thank you for your comments and subscriptions and your likes. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It means so much. Or dislike it if you don't like it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's a dirty secret. Whether you like it or you dislike it, it's helpful. But I'd rather you like it than dislike it. As long as I get more love than hate, I'm happy. So anyway, that's it. We'll see you next time. By the way, tomorrow I'm attending a quinceañera. I'm not DJing it. I'm attending it. I might take some video while I'm there. We'll see. See you next time, guys. Take care, practice, and enjoy.